Many of you out there drink water. The majority of you, as I suspected. But when you're drinking the water, do you truly appreciate the easy access and the purity of all the water? Well, I can guarantee to you that third world countries appreciate it way more than all of you combined. They have no chance of living as luxuriously as we do and having water to sustain their life as healthily as we do. That is why Rotary International started the charity Water for Life. Water for Life is a charity that has money raised in order to raise potable water for third world countries. The easiest way that they are able to do this is they produce and manufacture filters, and they send them to the third world countries. One way they get money in order to raise for the filters is they put on benefit concerts. My dad, a few years back at the Sierra Nevada Big Room, had Otmar Liebert, who is a flamenco guitarist with a band, perform. And then a year later at the Paradise Performing Arts Center, had Norton Buffalo, which is the was the harmonicist for the Steve Miller Band before he passed away. These two concerts raised enough money, and all the money that was raised went to Water for Life. So what I did was I took my dad's idea and kind of in an unoriginal way made it my own. But instead of having one band or one solo artist perform, I'm having three bands: Dead Poser Society, Beards and Broads, and Los Papichulos. I organized the entire event with the proceeds and profits going to Water for Life, and this process took numerous steps. The first thing I had to do was find a venue. There were many difficulties in this for the following reasons. I tried to get Sierra Nevada Big Room as my venue initially, so I wrote a letter to Bob Littell, which is the manager of that place, and he ended up not I ended up not receiving a phone call from him, so I had to call him, and his answer to me was no, because apparently Sierra Nevada Big Room doesn't allow public usage. Found out later that the real reason that he didn't allow me to use it was because I guess I didn't sell it well enough. So he didn't believe that it was going to be a very good concert. So the second place I tried was the Paradise Performing Arts Center. I only considered it. I didn't call or anything, only because everyone's sitting down and you can't really rock out while you're sitting. So the third place I tried was Cafe Coda. But before I made the phone call, I realized that it only contains 100 people, and that's way too small for something like this. So, after much deliberation about which venue, I finally concluded to Tuscan Ridge Golf Course. It's outdoors, it's large, it holds 500 plus people, and it seems pretty suitable for something that I want to do. I ended up making an appointment and had my concert be scheduled for May 11th, but I had to reschedule because the Chocolate Fest would interfere with that, and not very many people would choose music over chocolate. I know I wouldn't. So I ended up having the concert changed to May 17th, which happens to be today, from 6 to 10, in case you guys want to go. Now, I finally got the venue, so I had to get the bands. So I figured the mentor that I had in mind, Ron Matz, who's been my dad's friend for a very long time, would be perfect because he's in a band, Dead Poser Society, and it's pretty perfect for my concert. So I had one band down. Second band, I ended up calling a man named Noel Carvalho, and he's in a band called Hush. Everything was perfect. We were all ready for him to be a part of the concert, but then a month before the concert, he called telling me that he had to cancel because supposedly he double booked and he already had a commitment, so he had to cancel on me. But he was nice enough to give me three considerational bands. The Jeff Pershing Band, Swamp Zen, and Gravy Brain could take his place. While I was listening to the Jeff Pershing Band, one of my good friends, Jake Peters, was just randomly walking by and talk about being at the right place at the right time. He's in a band called Beards and Broads, and he told me, after I explained to him what I was doing listening to music, he told me that Beards and Broads would love to be a part of it. So that's my second band, Beards and Broads. The last band that I decided was Los Papichulos, only because my dad used to put on summer soirees at our house, and we used to have Los Papichulos play every once in a while, every other year about. And also Noel Carvalho used to be a part of that band. So, I had all 3 bands down. It was perfect. After I got the bands, I went to Tuscan Ridge very often for meetings with the general manager, Nathan Bonneman. I had meetings regarding the entire planning of the event, the prices, the setup, all that jazz. So Nathan gave me a list of necessities for this. I needed to get a security team, which I had asked Rotary International for volunteers through a letter, which that letter also I included asking them if I could use Water for Life's name for this event, which they accepted. I also needed a sound equipment and a sound engineer. Kyle L. Porter from Paradise Audio was glad to help. I just needed a 70 kW generator to produce power. As well as those things, I needed liability insurance. Initially, it would be a few $100s, but if I put the liability insurance under my dad's business name, Access Real Estate Lending, it would only be $20. So I decided to take that option. I also needed porta potties from Acme. And the last thing I needed was posters and flyers for my marketing. The flyers that I made, right here, they included the who, what, where, and when. But after I printed them, I totally forgot time aspect in when. I had a date, didn't have the time. Time got away from me. So on every single one, I had to print the time. That took about 2 hours. I also made business cards to hand out, which would be quick to hand out. These ones down here. Just walking by people, handing them out. And posters. One of my dad's work associates, Alpine, helped me create this poster here. And we posted 30 of them in businesses around Paradise and Chico. As well as those things, we ended up marketing with KPAY and KFM radio stations. And we promoted by doing 2 commercials and 1 public service announcement, which have been rerunning for the past 3 weeks until tonight. In the midst of doing all this preparation, I also needed to find a way to get people to buy tickets. So I went to Eventbrite, which is a website where you can schedule an event and have online tickets. So that's what I did. And it's $15 for general admission online and $5 for 12 or under online. And then at the door, you just add $3. This project here was mainly community service because of the proceeds going to Water for Life. The third world country, the people living in them, can, because of what I did with the helpfulness of what I've given, can drink water. And since water is pretty much a living necessity, it's pretty nice. I went through many emotions going through this project, but stress and frustration were the main ones. As I was quickly reaching the deadline, I had to cram all of my scheduling into a shorter amount of time because of the P word, procrastination. I'm sure you all know what that word means. It's very stressful to procrastinate. And also with frustration, it came from having to ditch my social life for doing this. My friends wanted to go do something. I already had a meeting planned with Nathan Bonneman, the manager. I had to ditch my friends. That was never fun. The biggest problem I encountered incorporates a very large irrational fear. For some reason, I do not like talking to people I don't know on the phone. I just get freaked out. So I normally develop a nervous stutter or incoherent wording. So what I ended up doing to get past this was I would just dial the digits, press talk, wait for the ring, and right when they answered, I would just get it off my chest as quickly as possible. It was hard. Yeah, and I just, with everything, I made sure I incorporated every little thing and just pretty much winged it. So you may be asking yourself, is this somewhere you're interested in career-wise? I'd like to answer that with a no, not at all. I know the stress and frustration that can come with doing something like this. I can now narrow down my career choice by 1 elimination. There will be absolutely zero, nada event planning in this guy's future. Despite all the experience with the project, no event plan at all. Regardless, I was very happy to help those in need. Water for Life is an extraordinary organization. I'm glad to be a part of such a great charity. Any questions?
Time. Shelby, time? How long?
9:42.
9:42? Thank you.
I want to say hi to your grandma and grandpa real quick.
Hi, Gary and Bobby.